So I'm just getting the troops out, ready for this battle, and I've just finished setting the table. I've got Saxons and Italians over there. Obviously, they're going to come on, coming back over this side of the table. Essentially, though, this is the battlefield at Blankenfeld, and it's all set up. And now I've just got to deploy troops for obviously Ney's forces, and then the once Steve's finished his polls, he'll send details through to me in regards to fortifications, deployments, and shit, and other kind of stuff for the Allied, the coalition forces. But he has sent me some questions, obviously on his YouTube channel. Some people have been asking some questions, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them now. So that's what we'll do. Okay, guys, so just a bit of background on the movements of French forces, and I'll talk exclusively about the French forces operating in the north of our campaign area of operations. So basically from Denowitz upwards, so operations concentrating on the French advancement towards Berlin, because the battles are about to start there now, and I might as well explain how did we, in detail, how did we get to where we're at. So what Napoleon has decided to do is his first objective, other than securing some key terrain, was to capture, at all possible, to capture Berlin as quickly as he possibly could. He put into motion a bit of a deception plan. The idea was he sent 20 sets of horse furniture and uniforms of the chasseurs de cheval and the gendarmes d'élite, and he sent that to Leipzig to equip French light cavalrymen from other regiments in that area of operation to put this gear on, put the horse furniture on the horses, and basically patrol around in that uniform. The idea being that wherever the chasseurs de cheval and the gendarmes d'élite of the Imperial Guard were going to be, it would appear to the Allies or the coalition forces that's where Napoleon was. So the idea was to make it appear that Napoleon himself was operating around Leipzig. But in fact, what he was with his Imperial Guard, or all of it, some of it, in the area of operations around Berlin. He also gave arranged for dispatches to fall into the hands of the enemy, indicating that the forces directly to the west of Berlin was simply a couple of divisions under the command of Davout, and they were to demonstrate and move around as if there was more of them than there actually was. The idea of that was to hopefully draw Prussian forces out of Berlin onto more favourable ground for the French to fight them on. At the same time, Marshal Ney was to swing around to the south via Denowitz and then up through Grossbeeren and hopefully fight Prussian forces there. The idea is to have a simultaneous attack to the west of Berlin and to the south, pinning down troops so that neither of those Prussian forces could reinforce or aid the others, because it's a simultaneous attacks going in simultaneously. That required a little bit of coordination, obviously, and so that's why it's been a rather slow, deliberate advance by the French in this pincer movement onto Berlin. So that's the French strategy, and that's why you see the forces where they are. I don't see it as like letting the cat out of the bag at this moment. It's obvious what's happened now. Steve tells me that there's been some questions in regards to why can't cavalry be sent from those forces to the west of Berlin to help the Prussian forces down in the vicinity of Grossbeeren. I'm told by Steve it's about 40 miles from one battlefield to the next. Generally speaking, Napoleonic armies moved around about 10 miles a day. Now, you might think that, oh, geez, that seems slow. But if you think about it, it's actually not. You've got to understand that armies have to get up in the morning, get themselves squared away, get the soldiers get fed, gear packed into wagons. Then they're going to be marching to their next staging point. Some light cavalry and some elements might go forward ahead of them, just to make sure that the path is clear, that the roads are suitable, bridges are strong enough, etc., etc. And then the armies get to their areas, and then they have to be dispersed into billeting areas. You can't have 40,000 men all just in one big area to sit there and eat. Just think of the hygienic reasons, let alone the consolidation of rations and the like. So they have to come in from a dispersed position, form up on roads, be sent off, have breaks as they go along, because I can truly appreciate it. Having been a soldier and done 30-kilometer route marches, I can tell you now, it knocks the absolute crap out of you. And that's with, a good footwear. Some of these guys, their boots, their shoes would have been falling apart after a week. So they're going to 10 miles a day is good. Now, you might argue, well, cavalry, surely they can move faster. Well, in theory, yeah, but cavalrymen didn't ride their horses all the way. They often dismounted and walked their horses, because you don't want to ride a horse, 10, 15 miles every day, because if you do that after a few days, that horse is done in. So they would often dismount, take the saddle off the horse, carry the saddle, and walk the horse. Now, could you force march your cavalry 30 miles in a day? Yeah, maybe. But by the time you get there, some of those horses are going to be lame, if they've made it at all. Some of the riders are not going to be on the horses. They'll have fallen off. And by the time they get to where they're going, the cavalry is going to be exhausted, blown, for want of a better description. And then to feed them straight into a battle, like immediately into combat operations, they're not going to be much use to anyone. And that's going that's pushing them 30 miles in a day. And from what I've been told, it's one battlefield to the next. Steve tells me it's 40 miles. So it's not even possible. Unfortunately, the Prussians, for whatever reason, they've got no cavalry down near Grossbeeren. They've been there for at least a week. Why nobody tweaked to this, I don't know. But yeah, I guess they've been caught on the hop there. Having said that, the terrain that they're in isn't really conducive to cavalry battles, especially around Blankensfeld. Grossbeeren, definitely, there's some good terrain there for cavalry. It is quite open. But on the Blankensfeld battlefield, there's not much good cavalry terrain there anyway. So maybe it will have no effect. And it's no foregone conclusion that the French are going to win these battles, because especially in the south, the numbers seem pretty even. Mind you, I suspect the French have a qualitative advantage. In the north, around Berlin, though, the French do have a large advantage in regards to numerical superiority. So that's basically just a quick summary of the tactical situation from the perspective of the French and their German allies fighting around Grossbeeren and Berlin. So I'm going to just wrap it up there. It's a real quick Soldiers 5, probably gone more than 5 though. And I will catch you soon. Oh, if anyone has any suggestions for deployments for the Prussian forces around Blankensfeld or Grossbeeren, feel free to write something up in the comments or send an email. My email address is trailape@hotmail.com. It's right here. TRAILAPE @hotmail.com. You can fire something there. But you'll have to be pretty quick because we hope to get these battles going in the next 24 to 48 hours, I guess. Well, 48 hours, probably closer to the mark. But if you've got any input, by all means do so. Go across to Basement 1908, Steve's YouTube channel, and over there he's got polls in regards to what Prussian corps should be fighting on what particular battlefields at either Grossbeeren or Blankensfeld, and also what the Prussian troops should do in regards to fortifications and redoubts, because they've been there for 7 days, so they'll have the ability to build some fortifications or to fortify the various little hamlets, towns, villages, what have you. Don't think I can think of anything else. Yeah, nah, that's all I got. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comment section below, and I'll address them as soon as I possibly can. Other than that, I will catch you on the next one. You be quiet.